Okay, so we've done a little bit more stone mining. We've obviously still got our condensers working happily. Our engine's all nice and topped up, and the one hydrogen tank is nice and full. We've got a 6-wheel configuration. I find 6 wheels to be infinitely more stable than 4. If you can do 6 with like a larger section between the back 2 and the front 2, then that is preferable. You can see here that the weight is still a problem, and obviously you don't want to be dragging this thing around because that will just eventually blow up on the ground, eventually, inevitably. So what we're going to do is we're going to see if the suspension fully compressed will allow this back section to come up, and then I will put some kind of free moving spindled wheels on the bottom there to see if we can give it at least some kind of wheel structure to move upon, so that it doesn't break whilst we're moving around. Is it lifting the front of this up? It is, okay. It's not really too surprising. The weight is on the front of this is clearly not sufficient enough to bring the front down. So what we'll do is we'll just get it to a point where if it were level, it would be at the right height for us to work on, which I think is probably going to be minus a few degrees, probably minus 15 would be ideal. Or minus 5, minus 6, 7, nice and slow. We don't want to risk damaging it or flipping the whole thing entirely and having it explode. That would be terrible. Actually, I think it's probably fine there, so we'll leave it there. What we'll do is we'll take some steel plates, if I had any. 10 please. That'll do. And what we're going to do is take a heavy block, like a battery, normal big battery. We're just going to whack a few in the front of this, get further and further out until we bring enough weight to bring the front down. Now, we can put a rotor underneath here. Okay, it's not quite enough space. I was probably right about 15 degrees. I'll lift that up a bit more. Like that. Is that enough? Nope. Okay, we'll just keep going until it is. Wait, I don't place a rotor head. That's not. Okay. Until there is enough space to place it there. And then we'll stop that there. We'll just grind up that rotor head. We'll add a small head or rotor locker. Just whack the braking torque up a little bit. We will unlock this at some point. For now, I want to lock it. I think what we'll do then is we'll take some light armor blocks, do a similar kind of configuration to what we've done here. So that's 2 for the back. Do okay. Steel plates. Again, it's steel plates, please. Okay, thanks. Do that. Get some more steel plates. Probably some more iron, actually. So that's why I no doubt we'll need them. Do we have any iron to take? There. Chuck it in there. While we're waiting for that, we'll just go get ourselves some food and water because we're about to run out. As you can see, I haven't even gotten through the stuff that we started with yet, so there's obviously plenty of time for us to get everything we needed sorted out. Should be enough for Just do the basics that we need here. Just, oh, how did I manage that? It's literally the one thing I didn't want to do. Okay. And then we'll just put a half block up there. Do we have enough to do the same on the other side? Probably not. We've got large left. I'm going to do it like the rest. Ta-da. Do the same on the other side. Classic. Okay, so in the interest of honesty and full disclosure, I must admit that I have never done this before. And now that I've done it like this, I kind of feel like it probably would have been a lot smarter to do it the other way around with a small grid rotor super gridded onto the large grid rotor part on there. I think it probably would have been cheaper in resources. I think it would have looked better. Yeah, so in future, if you do happen to do that, maybe think about that one. I'm just going to lower the rotor displacement as much as it will go. I'm going to turn the rotor lock off so that it can move freely. I'm going to go to these. I'm going to turn steering off and turn steering off. Not that it should do anything anyway. It's on a subgrid, so the likelihood is it won't pick it up unless we used scripts or something to do that. This one we're going to turn to steering off. This one's going to be steering off. This one's going to be steering off. Front two are going to be steering on. Just turn steering off on these two. As you can see, they're not. Okay, so we have that one. Let's just take a little look at our controls. So obviously you want the handbrake for your. Don't use P. Your P for handbraking connectors is ever risky. Basically, just don't do it. Just use cockpit, drag it to your toolbar, and set handbrake on and off. Do not use P. If you use P, you'll fail miserably, and I'll just laugh at you, quite frankly. Okay, wheels. Let's have a big wheels group. And what we'll do is we'll put the wheels group here for not increase strength. We'll do increase height offset and decrease height offset. And that will become apparent later. But for now, we will need to configure them. Wheels. We're going to need a little bit more strength in them. Not a lot, not too much, like 15%, just so that you can see the suspensions are at the bottom just when fully under load. So that's the full load of this is now at the bottom of the suspension, so it'll have plenty of travel. If we need to stiffen up the suspension, we can change that strength to be a little bit higher. I always found the power to be a little bit too high for these, and we don't want to be moving fast. We really can't risk anything. The power being at about 30% should be sufficient. The height offset, we can change manually as we've already set that. Speed limit we'll handle, and friction we'll leave as it is for now. So if I go right, it should just move the front two. Left, it should move the front two. With the back configured as it is, hopefully it will just follow wherever it needs to. Like I said before, I've never tried this before, so when I try moving now, it may all go colossally wrong, but at least you'll all get some entertainment value out of it. We can move. Oh, and I've also turned off the hinges torque, so that the hinge has no torque to it. I see a problem here. Every time we accelerate, it's going to pull the front wheels off the ground, meaning that we can't actually turn. That is a problem. What I think we'll do for now to resolve that is just turn these ones to allow steering. which might result in some unusual behavior, but at least hopefully we'll be able to turn. Yeah. And the back hopefully won't blow up. And the rotor doesn't seem to be moving at all, but the wheels seem to be okay. So I think we can consider that acceptable. Ideally, we want to just be going in a straight line as much as possible anyway. Now is the time to turn our ore detector on for when we look for goodies. All we need now is cobalt, and we can get off of this moon. But before we go anywhere and do anything insane, we can probably simultaneously solve our weight distribution problem and our resource acquisition problem by doing what I'm about to do next. So this is a reasonably level bit of ground. And I need some O2, which is another problem we'll need to solve because there's no O2 coming through to the cockpit currently, which is, you know, a little bit of a problem. Here we see why I put the high offset on there. We're just going to go ahead and lower the high offset significantly enough for me to be able to hop into the... Oh, probably could have got in that side, but like, there we go. We should just be able to get access to our survival kit, bare minimum. What I think I will do is increase the length of the conveyor system on the left-hand side of this banana boat here. We'll move those, it'll come down here, we'll connect to the cockpit there, we'll run it down along here to the front, and then we'll have a little hinge, and we'll use the hinge to articulate some drills. And we'll have the minimum and maximum angles for those to be in active position and non-active position, basically. So yeah, we'll do that, and then we'll see how we go for a bit of resource acquisition. Oh, that's a little... Oh, it's got the high offset set down. Maybe they shouldn't be in the high offset group. I don't know. It's okay for now. Yeah. Well, it looks like we're on reasonably flat terrain, which, you know, is some kind of benefit, I guess. Zoom out loads. See, there's a big old crevasse going that way, so we'll probably have to head in that direction or that direction. It's very rocky and craggy, so we'll have to be careful not to yeet ourselves into one of those. Yeah, I guess we should get started on those drills and the conveyor system just so we can get that sorted and solved. Okay, so now that we've got at least one drill functional, we can kind of begin with this forward scraping motion where we slightly scoop up the ground ahead of us in order to pull up some stone, pulling in enough resources for us to then be able to do at least some of the... Oh, we've got some of this stone in our condenser, so it could be a potential problem. As you can see, the large cargo container is already up to like 19k, which is like monumental amounts more stone than we would have been able to get before. So that should be, hopefully, the end of us having to do any kind of hand drilling for stone. We'll probably still have to hand drill for cobalt and maybe for magnesium if we find any, but overall this should be the end of hand drilling in general, which is a great step in the right direction. Okay, and there we go. We've got the drills in the upright locked position now, 3 constructed. We've got everything we need to start building our second stage once we find some cobalt. So for now, it's just a case of trundling around looking for cobalt. So we've gone and made a few modifications. We've got a large ore detector now on the back grid, as well as a lantern helping us see. Put some additional restraints on the rotor at the back there so that it can't exceed more than 30 degrees in any direction to stop it from fully twisting and pinning us in that position. No luck yet as to finding cobalt, but the search continues. So the terrain is being pretty rough. There are these little narrow corridors that I'm trying to make my way through. Traveling at night is always dangerous, not just because you can't see where you're going, but you also can't see targets. You can crest a hill and suddenly be in the range of someone's guns, something you probably would have seen at daytime, but obviously not going to be able to see at night. I'm obviously highly visible where I am, with some magnesium up there. With the way that this is currently set up, because I'm a giant green orb. I'm thinking also that in future I might put another small hinge between the hinge that currently exists there on the other axis, because as you can see, this rigid back section is causing me a great deal of difficulty when it comes to maneuverability. I'm managing, and the 6-track is especially efficient. And is doing a good job of hauling the rest of this crap behind us forwards. just kind of keep driving in a direction that I'm allowed to, thanks to the terrain, and hoping that we come across some cobalt, but eventually we're going to have to change direction, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to, because otherwise we may end up inside of a canyon and not be able to get out. What do we have here? Let's have a little investigation. Hopefully don't end up dead as a result of this. Someone has crashed their 8-track in here. How very sad for them. Whose could it be? Let's have a look. Ah, it's Ego Solo. Rest in peace. Question is, does it have anything good on it? It's got a survival kit. Much longer. I'll take that. Mwahahaha. Yes. Little happy coincidence for me. Question is, does it have any cargo storage? Yes, it does. I wonder if he has anything good in here. Probably not, but only one way to find out for sure. Grind it the hell down. Ooh, lots of stuff.
Inventory full.
Oh my. Let's just get ourselves out of here. Pull this out. Dig our way out of that one. Inferior. Superior. Mwahahaha. Okay. I think I might have just seen something that's a little concerning. As I'm cresting up this hill, if it will allow me. A structure silhouetted against Odin. Do you think that's a gun at the top there? It's a risky one, isn't it? Let's go. I wonder if that's Ego Solo's, considering we're very close to where he crashed his vehicle. Could be his facility that he foolishly built. Static, but never go investigate. Obviously, with your grid, that's a good way to get it dead. Okay, so yeah, I'm thinking that's definitely a gun on the top of that. Yeah, and that's bullet back. Okay, yeah. Well, that might be an NPC, but it's a bit of a weird design, so probably not. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to GPS this location, Gamma hostile base, and then we'll come back to it later when we've got more equipment and leveled it for even daring to take shots at us. How dare it? But we'll never discover whose it is, because I'm not going to risk all of this at this current point in time. Finally, some smoother terrain, some sunlight. Things are looking up, and that should be good. But still yet no convo. But we'll just keep on looking, keep on trucking. What else can you do? And here we have had a minor setback. And by minor, I mean, god freaking damn it. But all you can do is try to fix it. Maybe this time I can put a better solution underneath this than what currently exists. I needed to give the batteries time to charge anyway, because they were starting to run out of juice. Now they can spend some time charging. I'm just going to grind up everything I can, salvage as much as possible, repair the refinery, repair the back end of this, and yeah, hopefully take it from there. I'll get back to you as soon as we have made some progress. Oh. I see. Well, tip kids, don't allow hinges to push grids onto space occupied by Gatling turrets, because that is what will happen. Everything will explode. Anyway, I hope this has been educational enough that you can all avoid making the mistakes that I made and perhaps improve upon some of the designs that I decided to use. I wonder what on earth is going on over here. It's probably some kind of base that I would have inevitably been destroyed by had I been fortunate enough to live that long. I suspect. Let's have a look, shall we? Yeah, oh no, that's mine destroying someone else's stuff. Hold on. If that's still alive to some extent, perhaps this is salvageable. I mean, I doubt it, but you never know. Must persevere and all that. Come on, come on, come on. Sort of. Okay. Sort of. What have I lost? No engine. Survival kit's okay. Engine's okay. Cargo is okay. Front is a little mashed, but nothing critical. Do we have beacon still? No, we've lost the beacon. Okay, real quick, let's make sure we get that up. Up, we've already got that on there, so we'll quickly put a tracking beacon. Anywhere will do. We'll slap it there. There we go. Now the grid won't get destroyed. We've still got gyros. We've still got gyros. We got oxygen. Yeah, we've kind of got oxygen. Have we lost anything ultra critical? You know what? I don't actually think that this is the end. Wow. Alright, well, I'm going to work on this and see if I can't resurrect it. So sadly, it seems that the recording software didn't record the result of that, so I'm just going to simply explain it to you instead. The attempt after that, having finally reconfigured everything, which I will tell you now, took some serious doing because there was no large steel tubes to rebuild the hydrogen oxygen generator. However, we did eventually do it and put in the second hinge on the other axis that I was talking about, which was far superior. It worked so much better. Um, and yeah, after that, I don't really have much more to explain in regards how to survive your second day, but I think it's fairly self-explanatory from there what you would do. Get some cobalt, build yourself a small ship, or more practically, make your banana boat capable of leaving the atmosphere. And then from that point onwards, you're free of the moon and onwards to better things. So yeah, if you have any further questions, then best to ask the community in game on the Discord or myself. And yeah, best of luck, engineers. See you later.